So we'll look into now what are the significances of back EMF. Okay. Significance of back EMF. Okay. See, we should understand certain terminologies. When I say significance of back EMF, it means the effect of back EMF is positive. Okay. The effect of back EMF is considered to be positive. When I say disadvantages of back EMF, then the effect of back EMF is negative. But we never come across disadvantages of back EMF in DC motor. We call it as significance. It means how significantly the back EMF which is present is making its effect in the operation of DC motor. Okay. So this back EMF, the presence of back EMF back EMF makes operation of DC motor stable, okay, and self-regulating. Okay. How it is justified? We'll look. Now, what is the equation for current? IA is equals to V minus EB divided by RA. Okay, V minus EB divided by RA. Now, V and RA are constants. Therefore, IA depends on EB. Okay, IA depends on EB. Now, because of EB present in the motor, the current drawn by the armature is exactly necessary to drive the load. Neither it will be excess nor it will be minimum. Okay. I called it as self-regulating. Right? Self-regulating means we'll see the three cases, then we'll come back to this self-regulating justification. Now, case one. First case, when motor is on no load. When motor is on no load. Yeah. So when motor is on no load, what is the expectation? The current drawn by the motor should be minimum, is it? In case of generator and transformer, if you see, if the generator is on no load, the armature current is 0. If transformer is on no load, the secondary current is 0, but primary current, small amount of primary current is drawn, which is known I0, no load current, to overcome the iron losses. In motor, when the motor starts rotating and if it is on no load, the current drawn by the motor is not zero. Some amount of current, finite amount of current is drawn by the supply, because the losses in the motor are much higher than the losses in transformer, and that have to be supplied by the applied power only, or supply system only. So when motor has to start rotating, it has to overcome losses in the stator, losses in the rotor. Okay, because I am applying supply. Okay, in case of DC motor, I am applying it to armature directly. Now suppose I have taken care of armature copper losses externally by supply voltage itself, or by supply current itself. Now that is the whatever the power developed is there in the armature, that has to be overcome. That should overcome the remaining losses, which are iron losses and the mechanical losses. Okay, so to at least overcome these losses and make the rotor run, make the motor move, or make the motor rotate, some amount of current is drawn from the supply. When I start loading the motor, additional current is drawn from the supply so that the load requirement is satisfied. Okay, so that is how any electrical system work. Okay, when it is not loaded, the current drawn is very much minimum. Okay, so what happens when the motor is on no load? The current drawn is minimum. Current drawn is minimum. How it is decided it should be minimum? When the motor is on no load, what is the speed of the motor? At no load, motor speed is high. Is it? Motor speed is large. Yes or no? Because there is no mechanical load that is connected to the shaft. So my shaft is free to rotate without any weight on it, without any load on it. Best example, when we run and nobody is sitting on our shoulders, and when we run, what will be our speed of running? And if I carry some weight, what will be our speed of running? It decreases, right? When I carry some weight. Similarly, when the motor is at no load, the speed of the motor is large. The speed of the motor is high. If the speed of the motor is large, what about back EMF? Therefore, back EMF is large. Okay, here I will write in my corner, EB is equals to phi Zn by 60 into P by A. And EB, I will write proportional to speed. This is for my reference. At no load, motor speed is large, therefore back EMF is large. When back EMF is large, what is the current IA?
Low.
Okay. When back EMF is large, my V minus EB is low, therefore IA is low. What do I expect at no load? The motor current should be less only, right? Is it taken care here? Now IA is low, which is just sufficient to overcome armature losses and keep motor rotating. So only this much current is sufficient now. So that is automatically taken care by EB. What happens if EB would absent? We will look at the later stage. Okay, to keep a motor rotating. Let us consider second case. When motor is suddenly loaded, because generally motors are suddenly loaded. Unlike generators we can increase load in steps. But in most of the times motors are suddenly loaded. The best example is our again geared bike. When I want to move from standstill to in movement, do I slowly increasing my weight or my weight, my body weight, my pillion rider body weight and weight of the vehicle itself is gradually applying or suddenly it is getting applying on the engine? Altogether it is acting on the engine, right? So engine will experience a sudden load when I start the engine and try to move. Similarly, motors will also experience a sudden rise in the load. So when motor is suddenly loaded, okay, what about the speed of the motor?
Less.
Speed of the motor decreases. Speed of the motor falls. Okay, therefore EB decreases. Okay, V minus EB, what will happen? Increases. V minus EB increases, therefore IA increases. Okay. Now with increase in IA, will the power delivered to the load increases? Yes. Power delivered or torque delivered? Torque delivered to load increases. Yes or no? Now when I load the motor, it is expected that the motor should supply some power to the load. How much power? The power that is proportionally required by the load. Not very high, not very low. Whatever the load torque requirement is there or driving torque requirement is there, that much amount of driving torque should be provided by the motor. Yes. Then what is the use of motor if it doesn't do that? Okay. So how it is done? It is done by IA, because we know that current is the quantity that is responsible for doing work. This many times I have told in the previous circuit analysis classes. Why I am always concerned about current in the circuit is because that is the one which is doing the work, right? If current in any circuit is zero, that circuit will not do any work. If work has to be done, then current should exist in electrical system. So when there is a load torque requirement, who has to supply that load torque? Current has to supply that load torque, because torque is always proportional to current in any machine. Torque is always proportional to current. That we will prove here also. Okay. So automatically this is happening, that when suddenly I load the machine, it is not that directly the current is drawn from the supply. Nobody is telling the motor to draw extra load or extra current. It has to happen on its own. So how it is happening? As I load the motor, speed decreases, therefore back EMF decreases. Then the difference of applied voltage and back EMF increases, V minus EB. When minus EB decreases, V minus EB increases. Automatically current increases. So this increased current, where it has to invest now itself, it is investing itself in the load torque. So as the current drawn by the armature increasing, armature will produce more power. Where that power is delivered? That power is delivered to the load. Is it happening automatically, or somebody is doing it externally? It is happening automatically, right? The moment I increase the load on the motor, the current increases, torque increases, load is satisfied. This is one case. Third case, when the load is decreased. Load is decreased. What will happen when the load is decreased? Speed will decrease. Speed will increase, or speed will increase.
Yes, sir.
Why speed increases? It is also not happening automatically. Now observe, when I have loaded the motor, see, from no load I have taken to some load. From that some load, now I will again decrease, because I know what happens if I further increase the load, the same effect of case 2 will happen. Now I should see the opposite direction when the load is decreased. Now when the load was increased on the motor was drawing some amount of current, which was supplying some load torque. Now the moment the load is decreased, the load torque requirement has decreased. The load torque requirement is decreased. For a moment, you think, for a moment, I am talking this not for minutes together, I am talking this at instantaneous instant. When the load is suddenly decreased or decreased, slowly or suddenly decreased, there is an amount of torque that is developed by the previous load condition still in the motor. For a moment I am talking, not for minutes or hours together, for a moment. Now what will happen? The load torque requirement has decreased. Armature has produced some excess torque. So this excess torque will accelerate the motor. The speed is not increasing automatically. Please remember one thing. Speed is there because of torque. Torque is not there because of speed. There is a large misconception about speed and torque. It is the torque because of which the speed is existing. It is not because of the speed the torque is existing. Okay, you should nail this in mind about motors. It is the torque which is producing the speed. It is not the speed which is producing the torque. You should remember this point. Okay. Now, when the load is suddenly decreased, the current has already been drawn by the armature. There is excess torque developed by the armature, but the requirement of the torque by the load is decreased momentarily. This will accelerate the armature. Accelerate the armature means what? Speed increases. Okay, this will accelerate the armature, which will increase the speed of the armature. As the speed of the armature increases, my EB increases, V minus EB decreases, IA decreases. Now load has decreased, IA has decreased. Who is doing this? It is happening because of presence of EB, right? Now, when the load is decreased, okay, now load torque requirement, are you getting, or you are getting confused?
Getting,
Yes.
sir.
Load torque requirement has decreased. Okay. The excess armature torque developed at that moment. This is very important. At that moment or at this moment, the excess armature torque developed at this moment accelerates the motor by increasing speed. Therefore, what about EB? EB increases, V minus EB decreases, therefore IA decreases. Now when IA decreases, armature torque developed decreases, and it will settle down to a point where the armature torque developed becomes exactly equal to the torque that is necessary to drive the load. Is it happening on its own? When the load is suddenly decreasing, my armature has already produced the torque, but the load is not taking it. As a result of that armature torque, motor accelerates, speed increases, EB increases, V minus EB decreases, IA decreases. With a decrease in IA, armature torque developed will also decrease, and it will settle down to a point where the torque developed by the armature is proportional to the torque required by the load. That is the reason sometimes machines will vibrate when sudden increase or sudden decrease in load happens. Did you observe? Yes. Because of variation in armature current, especially when the sudden supply will go off when the machine is operating. When the machine is operating, sudden supply of the supply will go off. No, what will happen? The input current becomes zero, but the load is demanding the torque there because load is connected to the motor yet. So as a result of that, what will happen? The motor will try to drag the current from the source, which it will fail to do that. As a result of that, there is a large mechanical vibration that we call it as thrust, load thrusts. Okay, this thrusts will happen even when the load is increased or even when the load is decreased. So it will take some time to settle down. How much time? It may take few microseconds. Time doesn't mean few minutes. Some microseconds it will take to settle down. Now observe all the three cases. In all the three cases, we observe that current IA, the armature current IA is flowing exactly as required by the load. Is it so? Yes or no? When the motor is on no load, armature current drawn from the supply is only to suffice the losses. Load is not there. So no excess current is drawn by generating low torque. When the load is increased, armature current is drawing excess current from the source to satisfy the load. When the load is decreased, armature current is not drawn so much from the supply, or the armature current which was increased previously when the load was increased, now it is decreased because load is decreased. Okay. So what is happening in all the three cases? The current drawn by the armature is completely as much sufficient and necessary to drive the load. And who is taking care of this all? EB is taking care of this. Because in this equation, nobody else is there. IA, V by RA minus EB. V and RA are constant. IA is depending on EB. So only back EMF is regulating. It is not controlling. Controlling is different. Okay. You called it as voltage regulation. You did not call it as voltage control. Okay, so EB is automatically or self-regulating the motor by regulating the armature current. So with the presence of EB, DC motor becomes self-regulating motor. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This explanation is not in my previous notes, which I have already shared. It is in my new notes, updated notes. I will share this also in a day or two. Okay. By till that time, you rely on this explanation. Okay. Because I will finish up to certain point of notes and I will share it to you after the torque equation and characteristics. At least up to torque equation, I will share once I finish that. A small part is remaining. Now, is it clear how the presence of back EMF is making the DC motor self-regulating motor? Next, one more part is remaining. How the presence of back EMF is making the motor stable? We'll look into that. Now, what is IA? Is V minus EB divided by RA. Now, if EB is absent, if EB is absent in DC motor, what would this equation become? IA equals to V by RA, right? If EB is absent means what? EB is 0. So armature current is equal to V by RA. Okay. So RA is very small. Generally, we keep RA very small. Okay. It is kept very small to keep copper losses minimum. It will be hardly 1 or 2 ohms. Sometimes not even 1 or 2 ohms. Less than that. Okay. RA is very small to keep copper losses minimum. If rated voltage, if motor is operated at rated voltage, now RA is constant. What is IA now? Is proportional to V. Yes or no? Once the machine is constructed, I can't change armature resistance. The winding resistance will remain same. So my current is now solely depending upon only the applied voltage. And in case if I apply the rated voltage, which is around 220 volt DC or 400 or 500 volt DC, what would be the armature current? If motor is operated at rated voltage, then armature will draw very large current, that may damage the motor, that will damage the rotor, that will damage the machine. Now when the machine is damaged, do I have any use of that machine? Okay, so let us consider an example. Let V be is equals to 220 volts, RAB is equals to 1 ohms. Then what would be IA? Okay, if EB is absent, my IA would be equals to 220 divided by 1 equals to 220 amperes constant. Now observe, my armature current is not depending upon load. Even at no load, it is drawing 220 amperes of current. Is it expected to do so? In the previous discussion, we have seen when the motor is at no load, then the current drawn by the armature should be proportional or sufficient only to overcome the rotor losses, armature losses. I don't want excess current. And when the load is varying, current should also vary accordingly, proportional to the load. But in this case, what is happening? The current is not at all varying. It is always very large current irrespective of the load condition. This is not the way the motor should operate, right? Now, if EB is present, okay, so at no load, let us consider only at no load. At no load, generally EB is very nearly equal to V, because at no load speed is large, EB is large, but EB cannot exceed applied voltage. We already have seen. So I consider EB nearly equal to V. Okay, that is, let EB is equals to 210 volts. Therefore, what about IA? Equals to, it is 220 minus 210 divided by 1 amps. Sorry, divided by 1. How much? It is 10 amperes. It won't be 210. It will be 219 or 219.5 volts. To that extent, EB will be there. EB will be very, very, very nearly equal to V. But still, I have considered sufficient difference just to make you understand. So when EB is absent, the no load current was 220 amperes. When EB is present, no load current is 10 amperes. Now, will you appreciate the presence of EB, back EMF? So in the previous case of study, what we have seen, that EB is making the motor self-regulating. In this point of study, we have seen EB is also making the operation of motor very much stable. Okay, therefore, presence of back EMF. I am audible, right? Presence of back EMF.
Yes, sir.
Makes motor operation stable. Now tell me why motor operation is stable? Because of EB, right? What EB is actually doing? It is opposing the main cause, that is voltage. If suppose EB was not opposing the voltage or aiding it, if EB would have aided the voltage, then what would have been IA? It would have been V plus EB divided by RA. Then the current at no load, even with the presence of EB, would have not been 10 amperes. It would have been 430 amperes. It would have been much worse than absence of EB. So what I told when I was explaining the Lenz law, that the presence of this opposition due to electromagnetic induction is making the entire electrical system stable, and DC motors are stable only because of back EMF. Only because the back EMF is opposing the supply voltage. If it would have aided the supply voltage, then by this time I would have not taught you DC motors, because they would have not been existed. They would have been thrown out of the technology centuries ago. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all about the significance of back EMF. Okay. So the next is voltage equation and power equation and torque. That we will look in the next class. Okay. Now I think it is sufficient. You will get saturated hereafter. Okay. So there is no meaning in pushing the things forcefully into the brain. Okay, because these are concepts. These are not simply the examples where by doing one more example you will get practiced. No, these are the concepts which are to be first understood, then analyzed. So for that, you need a fair, what I can say, mindset to receive the things. Okay. So with this, I will end today's class. Okay, and in the next class, tomorrow I will be taking first hour. Okay.